Hi, I'm Madison Mary and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a brand new reading vlog for you. So I'm so excited for this brand new reading vlog. I am starting it actually on my birthday. That's why if you watch my birthday vlog, you'll see that these are the flowers I just got, which I love them and they look so pretty. So this vlog I'm so excited to start. I've been planning this for a couple months now, but I have been waiting for a certain book to get in before I decided to start it. So I'm going to be reading BookTuber favorites, and the BookTuber I'm reading for this video is Jess from PeaceLoveBooks. Jess is someone who I have loved for a very long time. I've been watching her for years. We recently became friends over the last year or so, and she's just such an amazing person, and I always trust her book recommendations. I was like, I want to read some of her favorites, and so I'm going to be reading for this video. I picked Forget Me Not by QB Tyler. I don't actually know what any of these are about, by the way, so I'm going in a little bit blind. But Forget Me Not by QB Tyler is one that I'm definitely reading. She has been raving about this since the beginning of 2021. She always says it's a brand new favorite of hers. She squeals about it everywhere, so I was like, I need to read that one. Then we have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Now this is something that I don't want to read. I don't want to read it because it's literally everywhere. It is everywhere, and when a book is hyped, when it is everywhere, I don't want to read it. I refuse. I hate reading books that everyone else is raving about. I just don't trust it ever. And I've also heard that Colleen Hoover's books are just really sad. They make you cry and all this kind of stuff. And that's never really been a romance kind of thing I want to get into. But I was like, you know what? Jess is it's one of her all-time favorites and has been for years. So I was like, fine, I'll read it. Now for historical romances, I'm reading My Darling Duke by Stacy Reid, I think it is. This is one that she read sometime at the beginning of 2021 and was like, this is a brand new favorite of mine. I absolutely need it. And as soon as she made that video, I went out and I bought it on my ebook. So I do have the Kindle version of that sitting. Now, for the last book I'm going to be reading for this, I'm tossing up between two titles, and I'm actually going to message Jess on Instagram very discreetly to have her pick it for me without letting her know this is what I'm doing. So the two in between is The Highwayman by Kerrigan Byrne and The Secret by Julie Garwood. Now, The Highwayman is something that I've had on my TBR since Jess first mentioned it back in 2019. That's when I first started watching Jess, first started getting into historical romances. I literally have screenshots on my phone from back in 2019 when she recommended the damn book. It's been on my TBR that long. That's a huge contender. And then The Secret is another one of her, it's one of her favorite old historical romances published before 2000s, and it's one that I have I bought it physically specifically because she raves about it and she loves it so much, and she's always recommending it. I don't know when, I'm gonna guess what my rating is going to be for these, just depending. Forget Me Not at the bottom, then I'm going to say The Secret, It Ends With Us, and then My Darling Duke. But if I end up picking The Highwayman instead, if she picks The Highwayman, I feel The Highwayman could actually be the top one. The Highwayman, My Darling Duke, It Ends With Us, and Forget Me Not. The only reason why I'm 50-50 on Forget Me Not is because it's a married couple second chance thing that goes on in that, and that's not something that I necessarily am familiar with, that I've necessarily read before. When I was picking from her favorite books of all time for contemporary romances, I wanted to pick ones that I wasn't necessarily gonna pick up myself normally. Yeah, I'll give you guys my first update when I start My Darling Duke, and that's it. Okay, bye. Okay, so a really quick update, just because I'm not even going to get into what this week has been like for me. It's Saturday. This is the first time I'm updating you guys, and it's Saturday. But I'm reading The Secret, and I love it so much. I will admit I did start off with The Highwayman, but I realized that I've actually been spoiled. I feel over the years when people were explaining this, The Highwayman, they revealed something that I feel you're not supposed to know, even though it's kind of obvious, but I still feel I was spoiled for something, and so I was having difficulty getting into it. So I ended up switching to The Secret, and I'm 30% in, and it's so amazing, and I love it so freaking much. Oh my god. All this Scottish men are fawning over her, and they're obsessed with her, and she's this little English lady with a stubborn personality, and it's just so good. It's so good. Oh my god, I love it. So I'll update you guys better on this later once I've fully read a bit more, and I'm halfway through maybe, but yeah, I just wanted to give you a fun little update that I'm really enjoying The Secret, and I'm so glad that I finally picked this up. And I really did, the reason why I got this whole series, the reason why I've always wanted to try it was because of Jess, so very, very happy. So I'll catch you guys up later. Bye. So I'm still too lazy to actually film a proper clip, but I just want to say I'm still reading this. I'm like halfway through and I really, really love it. It's so amazing and just like, this is the kind of historical romance I've been waiting for. I've been reading a couple of duds lately and I just also haven't been reading like really great like romances, and this one is just, it's doing it for me. I mean, like the guy is super, super alpha and like a little bit possessive. So if you don't love that, you might not like this as much, but it's so typical for historical romances and especially this time period that I'm just like living for it. Living for it. Okay, later. Hello, okay, so I'm so excited to talk to you guys about The Secret. I love it so much. There's so much witty banter. If you love witty banter, you're gonna love the crap out of this one. Oh my god, it's so good. So you're following Judith, and she is half English, half Scottish, but has grown up always in England, and her mum is extremely resentful towards Judith because Judith looks like her dad, and so like she absolutely hates her. So Judith would always spend her time with her aunt and uncle who live on the border of the Scottish Highlands, and so when she was a child, while she was with her aunt and uncle, she ended up meeting these other Scottish people, and she ended up meeting this young girl when she was like 4 years old named Frances. And the two of them instantly became like best friends, and like have stayed best friends throughout the years, even though they only see each other like every couple, like once in a blue moon. And they have always like written letters to each other. They've always like kept their promises, and you know, one of the promises was that when Frances was going to give birth, that Judith would be there, because Frances's mother died in childbirth and her grandma died in childbirth. So she is terrified that she too will die in childbirth. So Judith over the years has like been studying from midwives and like learning different techniques so that she can like make sure that her friend doesn't die. And now it's come to the time where like Frances is pregnant, and so Judith has to be sent for to come to the Highlands, but like that's very looked down upon because this is set during a time when like the English hate the Scots and the Scots hate the English, and there's like a lot of wars going on between them. So the thing is that, you know, Frances, her husband, is the younger brother to the laird of their clan. So because he's a laird, he kind of like has more sway, and like his word means a lot more. So he and like some of his men go pick up Judith, and they don't trust the English. They think that Judith is going to be like this proper lady who is like, oh no, big Scottish man, I would never go there. But they get there and Judith is like, I'm ready, let's go. She's like, here's my horse, here are my bags, I'm ready, let's go the whole 9 yards, let's travel. And they're sitting there and they're like, who is this woman? They're like, what the actual F? And it is just so hilarious because like Ian, our lad, he's like so used to like people like taking his commands, to being under his control and like understanding like the proper way of life. And Judith is just like bowling through everything, like doing things her own way. And he's like, what is this woman? Why am I so attracted to her? And she sees him as this like big burly, like massive, like 6 foot something lad. And she's like, oh, he's so cold, but he's also so warm to me at times. Like he's so protective. She's like, and he's attractive. And they have like this crazy chemistry, but like he refuses to be attracted to her so often that like he'll be really nice to her and then he'll be like, yeah, no, I don't want to deal with you anymore. And so like he's obviously traveling with like some of his other men, and his other men are also like totally infatuated with her as well. So like whenever they start hitting on her, he's like, nope. And it is just so, I love it so much. It's so much fun. And like when she does get to the Highlands, like of course there is like a lot of discourse because she is like an English woman, like people don't trust her. But she kind of like starts taking on like this role as like a midwife for the clan, and like their romance, and it's just so much fun. I'm loving it so much. Like that's just the very basics of what this is about, and like just the female friendship in this. Delicious female friendship. It's really not been problematic at all, especially because one thing that does happen in a lot of like pre-2000 historical romances is that consent can be very blurred. Not the case here. Oh my god, like that, his consent for her, so amazing. When they have like their first like scene together, he is so wonderful, he's so patient, he's like, oh my god, I was so surprised at how like beautifully written that scene was, because you never really know what you're going to get with older historical romances, and it was so well done and I loved it to death. Yeah, that's gonna be it, and I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, goodbye. Mwah. Are we enjoying our book? Oh, you sweet, oh my gosh. Such a little cutie patootie, isn't she? Look at this angle. She's oh my gosh. So I am reading Forget Me Not. It's good. Like I said, when it came to like picking the contemporary romances that were like some of Jess's favorites. They're not ones that I would have normally have picked up for myself. Like, for example, Forget Me Not. This, I feel like this angle is like not gonna be great for you guys, but like whatever. This one is about a girl named Olivia, and she and her husband had been together for like 9 years when he ended up cheating on her after they had a bunch of miscarriages, and now they're in the process of getting a divorce. But then he gets in a car accident and doesn't remember the last 2 years, and so he still thinks that they're together, and she's like trying to deal with this, and he has to move back in with her because no one else can look after him. And so that's what this is about. And like amnesia romances aren't something like this is, oh my god, it's so funny. This is like the exact kind of book or like the exact kind of movie my mum loves. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Like, I'm reading it, I'm enjoying it. It's just not like what I would normally pick up, but I figured, you know, why not like step outside my comfort zone, give something else a try. Like, I'm not enjoying it. She's got a really nice writing style, so even if I don't like this, I would definitely... Oh! I did not mean to read that scene while I was on camera. I just got... I'm like 44%. Oh my gosh, I'm going bright red. I'm 44% through the book right now. Oh my stars. And I just got to a scene I did not know was about to happen. But that's right there. I wanted to say I really do enjoy QB Tyler's writing style, so even if I don't enjoy this, I'll definitely look at other books by her. That's gonna be it for now. Okay, I love you guys. Bye. So, I just finished Forget Your Tale, bro, really? I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. I think I was supposed to feel maybe somewhat more emotional about it. Like, I feel like I was supposed to connect a bit more to everything. Like, this is also just because, like, I feel like technically this is considered like a second chance romance. And I am someone who is... I find that more often than not, second chance romances don't work for me. Like, I would say 75% of the time they don't work, and then like the other 25%, yeah, they do, and I end up giving them like 5 to like 7,000 stars out of like ratings. Like, I love the crap out of them. And then the other half of the time they're just like average to me. So that's just a given. That's just how I am as a reader. And yeah, so yeah, it was an enjoyable book. I will say, for Forget Me Not, goddamn, it was spicy. Oh my god, it was so spicy. The sexy scenes in that, she can write them. She can write them. Yeah, I'm glad I managed to get like 2 books done this weekend. It was really nice, and I just hope I can get a lot read this week before Pokemon comes out, because I want this vlog to go up next week, so fingers crossed. Okay. Mwah. Goodbye, guys. Okay, so it's like 1 a.m, so I need to go to bed because I'm like dying. But like, I really wanted to keep on reading, and I was like, Madison, if you do not stop reading now, you are not going to get enough sleep for work tomorrow. So I am forcing myself to put this book down because it is that good. This is why we always trust Jess when it comes to historical romances. We always trust Jess because I flipping love this. I'm gonna just tell you guys what it's about now because I just love it that much. Okay, I was like, I'll talk about it in the morning because I need to get some sleep, but you know what? No. So we are following Kitty Danvers, and Kitty, she has 3 younger sisters, and you know, they don't have any money. They were from an earl, but you know, then when the earl's like heir took over, they don't really have anything anymore. So she wants to provide for her sisters, and the way that she's gonna do this is by pretending to be the fiance to this duke that no one has heard from in years. The Duke of Thornton is like very notorious. He was like up and coming like politician, like everyone was like so interested in him. And then 7 years ago, he had like some sort of like an accident, something happened, and he like became a recluse from society, and no one has heard from him since then. Like, no one has heard from him. They don't even know where he lives. He never steps foot in London, and she's like, okay, I'm going to pretend to be his fiance. That way I will then gain a higher social standing, and then my sisters will be able to find a marriage during the season, and at the end of the season I'll just pretend that I was jilted, and it doesn't matter if I'm ruined because my sisters will be set up and they'll have a great life. Like, it's fine. Like, I can sacrifice myself for my younger sisters. So she does that. She pretends. The problem is that she pretends too well, and everyone becomes obsessed with her. Then you have the Duke of Thornton, Alexander. He's off in Scotland, living his very depressing and lonely life. He is in a wheelchair, but he is able to, from time to time, walk and use a cane and like stand up and do things, but it takes a huge toll on him. One side of his body is in scars. He is apparently impotent as well. And he has a younger sister who he cares for. She's the one that he saved in the fire many, many years ago. And he, you know, just hasn't really been living his life. And then he hears that he has his fiance. And, you know, he's heard about ruins all these years. He's never really thought much of them. But there's something about Kitty that, like, really intrigues him. So he goes to London for the first time in years. And everyone's like, what the actual F? And she's like, what the actual F? And he's like, hello. And she's like, oh, good God, I'm so screwed. He's going to ruin, like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. And he's like, no, I'm not going to say anything. I want you to be my friend. And she's like, you want me to be your friend? He's like, yep, I'm not going to say anything. We can continue this fake engagement. All I ask is that you're my friend. And she's like, okay. And it's just hilarious because he's like, why am I so intrigued by her? Like, what is this creature? Like, why is she so, like, enticing to me? And she is so wonderful to him. Oh my God. She's like not afraid of his appearance. She's not put off by like how callous he can be at times. Even when like he gets upset and like asks her to like leave and like do this stuff, she's like, no, I can see that you're in pain. Like, I can see that you're just trying to hide from everyone. She's like, I see you. Like, I care for you for some weird reason. And it is so cute. So I'm like 30% in, I like blasted through that 30%. Oh my God, it's so adorable. They're so cute. So yeah, okay, I'll catch you guys up later. Bye. Hey, okay, so it is Wednesday. I finished My Darling Duke last night, but I just did not update you guys. But I loved it. I loved it so freaking much. It was so amazing. I was constantly squealing and giggling and just, I loved it. It was just like the cutest romance in the entire freaking world. I'm just like dead over it. 5 out of 5 stars. One of my brand newest favorites. Totally understand why when Jess read it, she was like, this is one of my brand new favorites, because one of my brand new favorites, I'm going to be like recommending this to everyone. It's just such an amazing one, and the scarred hero aspect, and like there wasn't really any miscommunication at all. Like, thank the gods, I was afraid that was going to be like the case, and like they understood everything. The impotence was really like an interesting plot line. She was so amazing, he was so adorable, and I died over it. Oh my God, the maids and like the servants at his Scottish castle were hilarious. It was so much fun. It was so much, I cannot wait. I would honestly, not gonna lie, I would read the next one right away, but I've got other things to do. Love you guys so much. Mwah. Bye. Hello, it is Friday, which means it is Pokemon Day! So excited, so I picked up my game this morning. I have Pokemon Pearl, my brother always gets Diamond. My starter Pokemon, for anyone who is curious, is going to be Piplup. I don't know if anyone actually cares, but yeah. I also charged my Nintendo Switch, so I'm super excited. I did start It Ends With Us earlier this week. I'm like 50-ish pages in, I think this is. And I can't really tell you too much. I don't really know too much of what's going on, but it takes place present day with also journal entries of our main character when she was in high school. So we're following Lily Bloom. When she was in high school, she had a romance with this homeless boy named Atlas who was squatting in the house behind hers. Present day, she has just opened, she's like 20 something, and she's just opened her very own florist shop, which some people are like, that's not a very smart business like adventure. She's like, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. And her very first worker is this girl, and that girl's brother is a neurosurgeon named Ryle, who, by the way, who names a character Ryle? Ryle sounds like a douchebag name, so I'm expecting him to be a bit of a douchebag. But they had like this crazy sexual chemistry, and so there's something going on there. I'll let you guys know how it keeps on going. Yeah, I'll see it. Hello, okay, so it is currently Sunday. I just went out, I picked up my blueberry bagel for anyone, you know, I I feel like if you guys are consistently here chilling with me, watching my content, you know that my blueberry bagels are a weekly staple. Every single Sunday I get them, and they're the best ones because they're actually blueberry colored. Got through halfway of It Ends With Us last night. I am tabbing it. There are, well, you're not gonna be able to see the tabs because they're like bright yellow. I'm actually enjoying it way more than I thought I would, which is quite surprising because I went into this with quite low expectations. The only expectations I had going into this was that I would potentially cry. Oh, my water's boiling. I can make my coffee. Sorry. There's been some really great quotes in here. It's basically what I said the other day is what this is about. It's about a girl who had this first love when she was in high school and things ended horribly, but she's never really been able to forget about him. And then present day, she has just met this new guy. She's really interested in him and it seems like things are going well, but it seems like maybe it's not gonna be that great because he's a bit of a dick and a douchebag and has a bit of a temper. So, and then, you know, she obviously ends up reconnecting with the guy from high school. He comes back into her life and it's kind of like the question there, like, does she leave things unfinished? Who does she end up picking, kind of a situation? And I do want to say there's a lot of triggers in this for mental and physical abuse, both familial and romantic abuse in that sense. So do know that. There is some talk in this as well about suicidal ideation. That's also in there. So like, it does have some very dark topics. Strangely enough, this is gonna sound so bad, but there's something about, this is gonna sound awful. I feel really bad. I have found that for some weird reason, I really enjoy, how do I say this? When books have abusive relationships, there's something about that emotional aspect of a book that I always just really connect with. I mean, like, I've never been in any kind of abusive relationship, familial, romantic, nothing, never. But books that have that in it, that emotional aspect is something I really do connect with. It's just something that I am able to sympathize with. I'm a very empathetic person, and so, for example, I literally did. I almost cried at one point. I haven't cried yet, but I did almost cry. There's just been some really emotional scenes and I'm really excited to see, like, I hope that this last third really hits me and it becomes a 5-star because it's definitely a 4-star right now. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna go grab my coffee, eat my bagel, watch some Great British Bake Off. I'm very afraid because we're getting into like the semi-finals and people are starting to get eliminated and I'm like, I love you, I don't want you to leave. So, I mean, maybe it's just gonna be an emotional day. Why does my nose look red? It was kind of cold outside, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go, loving Pokemon, and that's kind of it. I'm so excited for when this comes out because Jess has no idea and I haven't been updating on Goodreads that I've been reading any of these books either, so yeah, this has been so much fun. Okay, I'll catch you guys up later. Mwah. So, I finished it. I did cry. It wasn't like big cry. But there is a scene. Well, you know what? I'm just going to say what chapter because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. Chapter 32. If you have the book, if you've read it, you can check that out. That's the one that really ended up getting to me just because the conversations in there just were like a lot. I need to wash my face now. This is not a romance at all. It's not. It's not. This is a contemporary women's fiction, more so of a book. There is romance obviously in it, but it's more so about an abusive relationship. And there is an author's note at the end from Colleen Hoover explaining that she based this book a lot off of her parents' relationship and what she saw growing up, what she knew about them growing up and things like that, which definitely adds a whole extra layer and depth and just weight to this book, I think, and says a lot about how it was written. I wish there was more of a romance that had gone on in this with the secondary, with Atlas, personally. I think that would have been interesting to see. I kind of was hoping for that, but I think that would have detracted from everything else, so I definitely understand the way this went. Yeah, I mean, technically I need to close out the vlog tomorrow for this, but I don't really think that's gonna happen. I forget what my ratings were. What did I say initially? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wash my face, I'm gonna take off this crying face, and then come back and I'm gonna close out this vlog. That's what I'm gonna go do. Okay, so I moved into my living room, living room, I guess, technically, just to chat with you guys here because it's a bit easier. So I think my initial thoughts were that I would give My Darling Duke the top, then It Ends With Us, then The Secret, then Forget Me Not, which was very close. I did My Darling Duke, The Secret, It Ends With Us, Forget Me Not. So I think at the end of the day, I mean, obviously, like, I've always trusted Jess with historical romance recommendations, and I still do trust her. Clearly, we have very similar tastes. When she loves something, I tend to love something, so she's still like my #1 person when it comes to historical romances. I do think that maybe this is just saying that when it comes to like the emotionally hard-hitting romances, we don't always see completely eye to eye, which is fine. You know, Forget Me Not was a 3 out of 5 star, and It Ends With Us, I'm gonna give it like a 4 out of 5, honestly. So it was super close. It could have been a 5, but I don't know, it isn't. I can't really explain why it's not. Emotional hard-hitting romances are not something that I tend to delve into a lot. They're a bit out of my comfort zone. They're not something that I want to always be reading, so it's fine. This was so much fun to film. I had such a blast. I have 2 other people that like I'm already have in the back of my mind that I think would be really fun to do these videos for. Once again, if you have not checked out Jess's channel, I'm gonna link her down below. She is absolutely phenomenal. I love her to death. And yeah, that's gonna be it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a button down below. If you want to see more of me, please go to my channel. And until next time, thanks a bunch, everyone. Bye-bye.